or whatever it takes, by any means necessary. Failure is not an option, kind of grind.
Look at the way when you see me coming, I'll knock you down and it won't be funny. Look at the way when you see me coming, I'll knock you down and it won't be funny.
No matter what, I always have to think strategically.
Yeah, as you were talking about how she said all the obstacles and everything that you went through and how history is being erased. Like we were talking even before we started this interview, how things are being taken away from schools, from academia, from education for our children to learn. Tell us about an obstacle that you had, right? There's obstacles that children are facing all the time and how you were able to overcome that obstacle. And it can be personally or professionally. It's always how we get over something. So what is that and how were you able to get through it?
There have been many.
Yeah, I know. So it's like, we can pick one. It's up to you.
There have been many. It's never been easy,
Yeah.
but for me, it's, I just always felt that God had his hands on me for some reason. And I was guided. And, like I was offered a movie part and I knew I could do it. I met the director at a party and he said, I want you for this part, right? And so I go in, he said, come in tomorrow. We'll do a screen test. We did. I got landed for the job, got booked, was going to show up the next day, and I get a call the day before. And they said, I'm sorry, we're going to pay you your contract, but we're not going to use you. We're going with someone else. I was furious, and I'm going, this is ridiculous, So then I found out that they had substituted me with Lola Falana. I greatly admire, right? And I'm saying, well, at least it's a friend, it's okay, Then the movie comes out and it's just dead awful. And I said, thank you, God.
Yes, I'm not in this.
Thank you that I wasn't in that movie. So, sometimes things happen for a reason that you don't even know.
Yeah, that's perfect. You're like, I'm glad that this didn't happen.
Yeah.
And it's human. Those are human moments, right? To want something and for it not to go through the way that you'd like it to go.
Yeah,
And you have
because
to figure out to navigate through it.
and so I think the lesson in that is don't go through life with blinders on, which is what I say all the time. Your journey may not be meant for you to go straight ahead. Your journey may be, hey, look over here. There's a major opportunity for right thing, So, be open to that. Be open to that. Some people, you shouldn't have to go through life hating your life when you're 60.
That's true. Yeah. And I know we talked about social media, right? And how people are, the things that they see with filters, but now you're an influencer. So,
Oh, I am.
yeah, he said, oh, I am. And with being an influencer and a role model to this next generation, how does it feel? And unintentionally, like we're reaching different audiences now. So, how does that feel to be an influencer and to reach the generations that are younger?
It actually feels great. I didn't think of it as in terms of me being an influencer, but I guess I am. When people tell me that they used to sit on the floor, their dad, this one family, their dad used to sit them on the floor every time the NFL Today came on. You watch this Black girl up there. She's not supposed to be there, but this is a Black girl doing something that nobody ever thought she would be able to do. So let her story tell you that you can do anything that you can want to do.
Wow.
And I hear that story so many times, from many families all across the country. And they're saying, I remember my dad would tell me, or my mom would tell me about you. And they would say that anything is possible for me. I had a woman, Marissa Tigney, she has a podcast, and she was talking about representation matters. And she said that she was talking about Dr. Martin Luther King. Then she segued into, And Jayne Kennedy, she inspired me because I love sports. But when I saw Jayne Kennedy doing that, it inspired me that I could do it too. And she went on and on and on, right?
Mhm.
And the things that she was saying, and I'm watching this because I just happened to see it. And
Mhm.
so I reached out to her and she said, "Oh my God." And we have since become friends. But the thing is that you never know when your blessings are going to come. You know,
Yeah.
she was there in open arms talking about, you know, um, someone that she admired, never thinking that she would ever meet that person. But,
Mm.
I went to the Ali fight um, when they had oh gosh, which one was it? It must have been the second one with Joe Frazier. And this one's when they had the giant screens, and they had never had that. So they were showing it several colleges in the area. And so Leon and I went to go see it. We got tickets, got there. It's a long hallway. And by the time we got halfway down the hallway, jam packed like sardines in a can and not going anywhere. And so the front began to push back. And they had oversold the tickets and everybody had to leave.
Mm.
Then everybody's angry, everybody's fighting, and the glass next to us broke. So we went through the glass, jumped over the fence, and went to another venue and caught the fight there.
Wow.
The very next year, I come to Los Angeles, and within a year and a half, I end up meeting Muhammad Ali
Wow.
in person.
Yeah.
And he invites me to go to the Thriller in Manila
Mm-hmm.
as his guest. So here
Mm.
are me and Leon, a plane full of other celebrities, and we're all going to the this I was only 24.
Wow. That is
I would have never
amazing. Like you
dreamed.
would have never dreamed or thought that that was going to happen
Never,
that way. But it
never.
was meant to be for you, and the timing is
Mhm.
how it's supposed to happen, and when it's supposed to happen and who it's supposed to happen to. Like that was a moment for you.
Yeah.
And that's a part of your journey and your legacy that is only for you. you know um I just think that that's beautiful, and you were able to accept that moment and have it happen, and that it happened the way that it did, and you were able to be there too, and then the journey that you went to get there.
And I'm sitting there in his corner, ringside, and I'm looking at all these people from all over the world. Because back then you dressed when you went to a fight. So
Hmm.
everybody's in these big garments, tribal wear, like people dressing like they're kings and probably were.
Yeah. Yeah.
There were so many people there, thousands and thousands of people there. And then the minute he walked into the arena, everybody started yelling. You hear all these languages, is what caught me. I'm looking at it, and there's so many languages all around me, and I am right in his corner. And I just couldn't believe I was there.
Mm.
This, what God, what are you doing with my life?
Yeah.
You know? And then all this chatter, chatter, chatter. Then all of a sudden, you hear the chant as he enters the arena,
Mm.
Ali, Ali, and it's all the languages. I want to say of the world, but all the languages of the people that were there
Yeah.
all started shouting his name.
Wow.
And it just sent thrills it's just through my soul. I just how powerful is that?
Yeah. To
And
be there and witness that.
to be able to celebrate someone else's joy, that was
Yeah.
wonderful for me. And I think that that's a big thing for me as well. I praise people that do well, and I
Mm.
love celebrating people for the achievements that they've had. um,
Yeah.
if I've been a part of it, great. If I've not, I still love you.
I love that. And I want to go back. I think that foundation also comes from your parents, right? And just part of your upbringing. And our target audience, we're dealing with like young girls, and they're going to have their parents, role models or people that they look up to. So, what's something, a lesson or an advice to give those role models or their parents that they should do, or, to feed in, to pour in, to support the next generation? What would you give? What would you say to them?
What should they do to support the next generation is
The young girls,
young
and young
girls
boys.
and young boys. Yes, of course. Um, I walked into a coffee shop the other day, and there were maybe 25 people. And some of them were grouped together, obviously sitting at the same table, some independently, but you could tell that some of them were together.
Hmm.
I was there for 25 minutes, and not one person ever spoke to the other person the entire time I was there. They were on their phones, doing whatever they were doing on their phones. And it just hit me hard that, we have to find a way um, to find humanity again.
Mm.
To be able to sit and chat is a treasure. You know, as slaves, we couldn't visit. You had to just be in your one cabin. You couldn't visit the other cabin. There were so many restrictions on you. And here we are sitting in a restaurant, all races, and
Hmm.
nobody's talking to the other.
Mm.
And
Being
I feel that that's a huge component of our downfall. And I'm praying that our children um, can improve, because I had heard that in terms of calibrating the successful opportunities for generation, it's always been going up. This is the first time it's ever gone down.
mm, mm. That's interesting. Yeah, and I think now everyone it's so quick to grab the phone, right? And stay here, but you also have to be present and in that moment and interact. And what you were saying with your husband, what he did with Cheyenne and talked.
Yeah,
Going
yeah,
back to having the basic, a simple form of communication,
yes,
talking.
yes, yes. And how many times do we not do that?
Exactly. Being present, having these conversations and listening and observing. And on the flip side, we're pouring into the parents, we're pouring in and supporting those. And we talked about bullies, right? And having racism and all of that. But let's do a message for the bullies because maybe they want to make a different choice and to steer them in the correct direction as well. Because I think that it is possible for those kids and young boys and girls that make bad choices to change and make better choices. So, my question to you is what is our message to the bullies to make a different choice?
A lot of thoughts going through my mind, and I kind of think that it begins at home. Uh,
Hmm.
I could be wrong. I've never done a study on this. This is just my guesstimation. But it seems to me that people that are bullies are feeling that they are losing out somewhere in themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And so to be a bully is to give you empowerment over someone else, making you feel whole again. Um, and until you understand where are you lost in your inner self, and sometimes it just takes self-evaluation to do that. And sometimes it takes other people to help you do that. But, if you don't have the opportunity to sit and navigate your life and investigate your failures and enjoy your tributes and your great successes, um, you're not going to know yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's going to be easy to jump on somebody else
Yeah.
because you still feel that loss in you. Um, and this, I could be totally wrong,
No, this is
but
great.
this is just the way that I see it. And a lot of times, some of the bullies that I've seen, they're maybe because parents weren't home
Mhm.
to raise them, or parents didn't know how to raise them, or And I don't want to put it all on parents, because there are many, many issues that could come into play that can make you feel less. And the only way to uplift yourself is to lower the importance of someone else.
Mm-hmm.
And that damage that it does could last a lifetime. It
Mm,
could be a quick moment that you say something inappropriate that they never forget. And you didn't even think it was inappropriate,
yeah.
but those things, they hang on to you, and that you bury them in your subconscious, but they never go away. Like it might be at nighttime, it might be 20 years from now. Those things can always pop up.
Yeah.
So I don't, bullying is something that we must find a way to deal with. But I honestly believe it comes from not feeling that you have achieved all that you were meant to be.
Mm, yeah, I agree. I mean, this isn't like you said, we haven't done a study, but just in observation, we've seen bullies as young as, children to adult
Right.
bullies. You
Right.
know, it doesn't stop at any age. You can still, and I also believe that you can make better choices.
Yes.
Bullies can change.
And also, it can be mimicking their parents.
Mhm.
So, if the parents are not sure and angry and bullying, then the kids think, oh, that's what I'm supposed to do. You know,
Exactly.
it takes a strong child to veer from the teachings of their parents.
Hmm. That is so true. They
Yeah,
have to make that choice to say, I either want to go in this direction or I want to do this direction. I'm either going to say this or I'm going to say this instead. So that takes age and maturity at some point
right.
to get out of that from what your parents and make your own choices. So I think that was very well said. I know we could probably do this and keep talking for hours and hours. I don't want to keep you any longer, but I will ask one more thing.
Yes,
If there
ma'am.
are any closing words, anything, advice, or anything else that you would like to say to our young girls and young boys, and a word of advice, wisdom, anything else from you would be amazing.
Well, I don't want to be quick
And
to
you don't have to rush it either. Take your time. Doesn't have to be quick. Yeah.
But I think self-exploration is really critical. Um, and so many times we don't have that opportunity. And I would hope that young people, no matter what the age, if you can start with self-evaluation and make it a hobby, just not just one time, not just say, oh, I did it and it didn't work for me, but make it a part of your lifestyle, where you keep checking on yourself, because it doesn't really matter what someone else says to you if you
Yeah.
know that you are powerful, if you know that you are fine. you know um, it may hurt initially, but it won't, like if you are strong in who you are, you will understand maybe where their fear comes from, maybe where their anger comes from, that they can lash out at you in terms of bullying. But overall, I think that self-evaluation is critical, even in your job, with your partner,
Mhm.
your married partner, with your children. We have to learn how to see our inner selves. I do, uh, oh gosh, I don't even remember what it's called. I learned it, transcendental meditation.
I've heard of that. Yeah.
Just bring everything in. You eliminate everything in the world, but you bring everything that's your presence, you bring it in, and you keep thinking, and it's hard. You have to really focus and really concentrate until you only see what is inside your mind.
Mm.
You can take everything that's around you and keep bringing it in closer and closer until it rests inside your mind. And once you do that, you stay there. You stay there.
Mm.
You can stay there for 20 minutes. And it gives you more confidence that you don't have to go and bully someone else, that you
Mm.
don't have to be a loser, that you don't have to stand up someone else's agenda for who they see you to be. You can find your own self. You can find your inner self, and you don't need that approval from anyone else.
Yeah.
And you're strong.
Yeah, I think these are messages that have no age limit. There are things that I can take in. I know that, even your peers and in any generation, that message can resonate with anybody in any situation. And it's our ever, just being an avid learner, right? We're always learning and trying to grow. So I think that message is so important to just self-explore.
Yeah, self-explore. Um, I think you should know who you are because
Yeah.
he did put you here for no reason.
hmm And everybody has their own individual journey and individual path. Going back to, what happened for you with Muhammad Ali and showing up, that was your journey and that was meant for you. And even with Billie D. Williams, at that moment, it was supposed to be just your legs, and that was her journey. That was her moment.
Right.
So celebrating others, self-exploration, and knowing where you are.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because if it hadn't been for uh Judy Pace, and I don't know if you're familiar with her, she passed away uh,
Yep.
recently. And
Yeah.
um, I remember when I was in high school and we went on a field trip. I was in 12th grade. We went on a field trip to the movies.
Mm,
We saw the film Cotton Comes to Harlem on the
mm.
big screen. And you have to remember, I grew up in a community that was basically all white. And we're going to go to see Cotton Comes to Harlem on a big school bus. And I'm sitting in the seat, and she walked across the screen, and I got, oh my God, this beautiful chocolate brown goddess.
Mhm.
And she's on the big screen. And that showed me that I could do it too.
Mm.
So you don't know where those moments come in your life.
Yeah.
Just be open.
Yeah. And I think that we know there is young ladies and also myself and everyone else that's watching that you are that to know that it's obtainable. Like I said early on about being doing so many things, but
Right.
it's obtainable.
It
And I
is.
know that even within my own life, I've had people say, that's a lot. Are you sure?
Yeah.
Jayne Kennedy did it. So yes, it is possible.
Yeah,
She
somebody asked
did
me the other
it.
day, somebody asked me if I could provide them with a list of my first. And I said, no.
No.
It's too many. It's too many. There's so many. And when you're first, you oftentimes don't benefit from it. It
Mhm.
always ends up benefiting somebody in the future
Yeah.
because you
Yeah.
open that door.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Thank you. Thank you for everything.
You.
Thank you for
My
being the
pleasure.
first
Oh,
in
thank you.
so many different lanes and avenues and opening up doors and opportunities for myself, for other young girls, for other young boys, because they can look at you as well and say, okay, she did this. I
Yeah,
can do this.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
This,
yeah. And
I,
don't limit your perspective either, because sometimes it's being a first is also a first idea that nobody's ever even thought of. Not that
mhm,
you're just the first to do it, but the first that it was ever even thought of. When I
mhm.
did my exercise program, Love Your Body, I ended up being like number 3 in the world with Jane Fonda, Richard Simmons, and me. We were the
Yes,
top 3.
I know.
Yeah. Do you?
I was
Okay.
like, well,
Okay.
I know because I do fitness things as well. So when I was reading and learning, I was like, I do those things
Yeah, yeah,
too.
yeah, yeah.
And I
But
was
who
like,
would have
this is
thought?
my life, like an aspect of me. So when I'm learning and knowing more about you in that aspect, I was like, okay, see, she did it.
So, you take that, and like you may have a written plan for yourself. And like I said, think out of the box. Okay. So here I am with a successful program, right? And I get an opportunity to do an exercise show in the sky on American Airlines flight channels in
hmm
flight channel.
Yep. Yeah.
So I didn't think that that was going to be something that I did when I first started in Hollywood. But here I am, I've got Jayne Kennedy's Love Your Body, Exercise in the Sky.
Yes.
Exercises you can do right at your seat.
Yes. I said, oh my gosh, I think about that too. I was like, oh, I saw in the plane. I was like, Megan, you can do this. Like,
Yes,
you
you
can.
can. Yes, you can.
Yes. And I was like, there's yoga on a plane. This is amazing. Yes. I'm like, let's bring that back.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can do it yourself. They had a channel, but you could still do it yourself. Butt tucks, just
Mhm.
squeeze up with your legs and everything, and get up and walk around a bit. So there was a whole series.
Oh my gosh, I know.
Would have
Yeah.
thought? Who would have thought?
And when I read it, because I've actually been on the plane and I've seen it for myself just flying, and then learning about you and knowing that was also part of your like, oh my gosh.
This is my game. This is my life.